And we're back here for the fourth game of the All-State Sneakers for Santa Shootout at Brownsburg High School. It's Centerville, the Elks out of Ohio, facing the Westfield Shamrocks. And the lineups, Izzy Laley, number 1, 14, Molly Scott, 15, Megan Taylor, 24, Kendall George, and Emily Grimm, 25 for Centerville, and Westfield controls the tip. That's 23, Olivia Roby for Westfield. And there is All-State candidate to number 20, Alyssa Crockett. Now Chesney Tebby, number 21, has the ball.
Westfield's seventh-year coach, Jenny Smith, another outstanding coach, 92-54. The Shamrocks in the IHSA tournament, 34-46. They've got 4 sectionals. The last one was in 2013. I know Coach Smith would love to annex not only a sectional, but run deeper in this tournament. All these teams have the potential to win a state championship.
Yeah, it's insane. We were talking about this before we went live for this fourth game of how stacked 4A Sectional 8 is, with Fishers and Hamilton Southeastern, Westfield, Noblesville, Carmel, and the Westfield Shamrocks, and Zionsville Eagles for that matter. Megan Taylor banks the 3 in to get the scoring going for Centerville.
Taylor averaging 9.5 points a game, 7 rebounds for Coach Adam Prefer, an outstanding basketball team. Last year lost to eventual state champion Mount Notre Dame in the regionals. Mount Notre Dame has not been beaten since January 2019, so the Centerville Elks, just outside of Dayton, Ohio, also have the potential to win Ohio State Championship.
Yeah, that's the 3 teams: Reynoldsburg, Centerville, Mount Notre Dame, 3 of the top teams in Ohio, and obviously we just saw Bolingbrook, one of the top teams in Illinois. It's just such a great slate of competition as Alyssa Crockett.
Alyssa Crockett at 6'2", averaging 16.6 points a game for Coach Smith's ball club. She is an outstanding player. And the Rocks have some size inside, too. They can use that to their advantage. As to the Elks, Centerville has some height. They did have an injury early on. Quinn Watercutter was injured with an ACL. She's out for the year.
There's the other little bit of size, Haley Remax, 24 for Westfield, as they come back the other way. And Coach Smith, her son, quite the sharpshooter for the boys team, and Shane Sumter, as he is an all-state candidate for the boys team for Westfield.
And he'll be playing for Matt Painter next year in Mackey Arena at Purdue. And the Boilermaker fans have to be really excited not only about the youngster, Mr. Smith, but also Brady Allen, the quarterback who led Gibson Southern to the state championship yesterday in Class 3A.
What a segue. And three-point basket made there by Kendall George. She leads Centerville in scoring at 12 points a game. Now 6 of 21 on the season outside the arc. 6-4 Centerville.
Centerville's a really good basketball team. One of the special notes on them, besides the fact they play good defense and turn the opposition over, is they're shooting almost 77% from the foul line. And we just don't see that many teams shoot this early in the season 77%. So congratulations to Adam Prefer and the Elks.
Yeah, that's pretty big. You don't see 77% from the foul line, as that ball turned back over on the travel. Officials for this fourth game: Sean Harmon, Bill Laurie, and Jagger Rent, as that ball hits the top of the backboard and the clock up there. We'll call it a shot clock because we don't actually have a shot clock. the extra clock up there, if you will. Olivia Roby, cross-court pass. Ellie Kelleher from the corner, 3, got it.
Great shot by Kelleher. She came in the ball game averaging 5.2 points a game. A lot of balance for Westfield scoring, but Crockett certainly is by far their best player.
Three-pointer on the way, and this one is slightly off the mark by 21, Anna Grimm. She came in during the last dead ball.
And Ellie Kelleher on the break took an extra step for Westfield and travels. And much like all the other games, we're probably going to see some turnovers here, but it's all part of the process. These teams are playing early on in the season. You don't expect them to be perfect, but what you do expect is a lot of energy and effort.
There's a travel there. Turns it back over to Westfield. They've got a 7-6 lead. All right, his second lead change. Haley Remax passes to Tebby, makes a move, drives down low. Tried to draw the foul and no. Emily Grimm the rebound, and back comes Centerville.
Nice touch by the Elks. On the right side, Megan Taylor lining up with a perfect shot, and Megan Taylor with 9.5 points a game. She can light it up as well for Coach Prefer's ball club.
She's got 6, and they've got all 3 field goals are 3-pointers for the Elks. Roby, nice spin move and up off the glass and in, ties it at 9.
Olivia Roby averaging 11.2 points per game. And to get production, again, from the perimeter, you've got to have it to be a really good team to have that inside-out operation for Westfield.
Crockett up the court to Chesney Tebby. 4-0 run for Westfield.
Tabby averages 7 points a ball game. Good use of the glass there by Taylor, her 5th point of the ball game.
Three on the way, and that's well short. Tebby rebounds short on the shot. She'll get it back up. And ball dipped down low to Alyssa Crockett. Quickly up off the glass and in, and 13-11 Westfield.
Good recognition by Tebby, finding her teammate Crockett inside. Sometimes a difficult thing to do, but she was able to do it. Good vision, good pass off the hardwood.
Long three. Centerville looking for a shot, but Westfield's defense clogging up the middle.
One of the things I notice early on in the season with a lot of players is perhaps the lack of confidence or direction. When they take the ball into the paint, instead of looking to score, they distribute the basketball. The great players, the good ones we've seen this tournament, they look to score. They get the ball in the paint, and they are looking to score. When you can have people all shooting towards the rim, it makes it just that much more difficult, in my mind, for the defense.
George shoots another three, and this one off the back of the iron, no. Roby the rebound. Last dead ball, Emery Collinsworth, 15 and 30. Kiki Lovelace now in for Westfield.
Kendall Georgia just missed that last shot for Centerville. She's their leading scorer at 12 points a game.
Roby, spin move, now back out to Crockett. Collinsworth, a three, no.
Molly Scott got the rebound. She also had some good help side defense in this series, so she's getting some production defensively for the Elks. And the Rocks play solid defense as well. Westfield's Class 6A football team will attempt for a state championship tonight. So again, we talked about winning breeds success. A lot of these schools also have successful boys football programs.
Yeah, and I'm sure the Westfield girls will grab a shower and they'll head downtown to Lucas Oil Stadium to watch the football team play Center Grove tonight.
Yeah, you have to figure as much, and that game will probably kick off at 8.
Yeah,
it's
last night
supposed to be at 7, but
last
maybe
night's
8.
nightcap didn't kick off till
8:30.
8:30. Projected was 7:30. Westfield back the other way. It's Loveless, now Collinsworth. And Crockett, one of those players, all-state candidate as well, like Hull. Selfless player. She'll obviously score the ball when she has the opportunity, but she'll dish it out and she'll get the rebounds. She'll do what Coach Smith needs to get things done.
It's interesting in high school sports, as far as the larger conferences are concerned, the balance of power has changed over the years. And years ago, maybe it's the North Central Conference, the MIC, but now this Hoosier Crossroads Conference is awfully good.
3-point basket by Westfield. I believe that's 20-22. Michaela Rudolph just comes in the ball game and nails a 3. And after one quarter, it's Westfield 16, Centerville 11. We'll come back for the second quarter here on ISC Sports Network.
It's here. The moment that will define you. So think of this moment as your moment. The one you've been waiting for. You were built for it. And so were we. WGU, the online university where ambition never rests.
Hi, I'm Query.
And I'm Schultz.
And of course, we do the incredibly creatively and appropriately named Query and Schultz program every Monday on ISC Sports Network. Derek, it airs at what time?
7:30.
Okay, every Monday at 7:30. We're now on season number 2, and if history tells us anything, catch us now, because you never know when they pull the plug on it.
Why would you say that?
Because it's happened
That's not going
before.
to happen here. Comcast, Xfinity 81, ISCSportsNetwork.com, ISC Sports Network, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, so many places to watch Query and Schultz, 7:30 on Monday.
Back here at Brownsburg for the All-State Sneakers for Santa Shootout. Craig Atkins and Mike Walensky. Glad you've joined us this afternoon. And pass down low and deflected out of bounds will stay with Westfield.
In the contest for the Elks, 15, Megan Taylor.
We've already had 2 ties and 3 lead changes in this game. Westfield now with their biggest lead at 5 at 16-11. Long 3 for Collinsworth, no.
That is a great broadcast name, Collinsworth.
Yeah.
I love that.
Wonder if she is related to Chris Collinsworth.
No, let's call him.
Jump ball. Possession stays with the Elks. 24, Kendall George returns for Centerville.
Chris Collinsworth, of course, played his college football at Florida, later with the Cincinnati Bengals in the NFL, but he was originally from the Titusville satellite Florida area, and I knew a lot of folks from there that knew Chris, and his reputation as a solid human being, a really good guy, and that's nice to know.
Kendall George, another 3. Makes one.
Boy, we have
Deflected
had
out.
great balance here with all these games, very competitive.
Yeah.
And both these teams really sound defensively. Centerville not giving an inch here to Westfield. Quick hands, too.
Quick hands and back the other way. Izzy Lele. And passed to Molly Scott and deflected out of bounds. Blocked out of bounds.
Melissa Crockett. Nice arms there at 6'2". You talked about potential Indiana All-Star. I think she can be.
Yeah.
At 16.6 points a game, a senior, 6'2", understanding the game extremely well.
And it's pretty cool at the same time. You see number 5 out there. It's her little freshman sister, Aubrey. Not too often you see sisters out there playing on the court together. Crockett almost stole that one away. Yeah, Jenny Smith, also the assistant AD at Westfield, along with being the varsity basketball coach, so keeps busy for the Shamrock faithful.
Again, just like Zionsville wearing the green, they have had incredible expansion and great facilities. Westfield, you're in good hands if you send your children to Westfield schools. They are phenomenal, as is Zionsville, and frankly Brownsburg as well. Every Indiana high school school that I'm familiar with in this tournament has outstanding school academically. Yeah, athletically too, no doubt about that. But academics and facilities, by far, some of the best in the state.
That's agreeable there. As Olivia Roby sinks 2 free throws, gets Westfield back up by 2, 18-16. Kendall George trying to find room. She wants to shoot threes all day. And that ball deflected. Crockett up the court she goes, and Ellie Kelleher, no. And Aubrey Crockett.
Yeah, I think Taylor made some contact there. There's got to be a foul on Megan Taylor, and there is. Good call by the official. She was out of position and backed into a Westfield player.
Yep, that foul was on Taylor. That's Megan Taylor's second foul. Inbound to Crockett. And Centerville knows who Westfield's leading scorer is, and Crockett tries to find her way to the bucket, draws the foul.
Foul on 15, Megan Taylor. Her third personal team.
Taylor's third foul already.
Alyssa Crockett shooting 2.
Crockett's kind of like Layla Hall. It could seem like she's not doing a whole lot offensively. She's already got 5 points of the 19. But like Westfield spreading the offense out. It doesn't matter who scores. They've got a 3-point lead, now 4. Izzy Ladley, strong off the glass, high. Rebound to Tebby, up, and Roby. Catch, one dribble, up and shoot.
And Westfield's had some fast break points here.
Yep.
A little bit more than their opposition, and they've been rebounding the ball extremely well.
And Roby with another rebound there as she slows up midcourt. Remax cross court. Crockett left wing 3, no. Crockett could not corral the board down, and Izzy Lately. 3-point basket now by Anna Grimm, 21.
Good things happen when you move the basketball.
Yep. Get that extra pass in there, and they did. Anna Grimm's first 3. Averages 5. And they dip it down low to Crockett.
Crockett, that's a
Dangerous.
mismatch underneath. Anna Grimm just cannot handle Crockett. She needs some help.
And down low, the rebound. Deflected, going to stay with Centerville.
In for Centerville, 10, Caroline McDowell, and 25, Emily Grimm.
Hard to believe that Lissa Crockett is only shooting 41% because she seems that she has so much size in there. But a lot of her shots are from the perimeter, and you can't expect them to have a high percentage there.
Right.
Enough shots to really make a difference for her ball club.
The ball turned over there on the pass up court.
That was a really good job by Centerville's Emily Grimm protecting the basketball. Just a real solid job by Grimm making the bucket for the Elks.
Crockett now driving, loses control of the ball, and turns it back over to Centerville. 3:32 left here, second quarter.
As a team, Centerville shooting 35% from the field, and as we talked about, very good from the foul line and almost 77%.
Three on the way again. From Anagrim, no good. Crockett the rebound. 3-on-2 break for Westfield. Kelleher gets the pass from Crockett up and in.
That's what impresses me most about Crockett, her ability in open court to handle the ball.
Yep. Yeah, at 6'2", she can handle the ball real well. Westfield back to a 5-point lead. And driving, looks like maybe Ellie Kelleher, number 10, fouling George.
Fouls on Westfield 21, Chesney Tebby.
Nope, Chesney Tebby.
Her first personal foul, team's first.
And just like that,
George shooting 2.
5 minutes into the second quarter, so 3 minutes till halftime, and Westfield just gets their first personal called.
And Kendall George is shooting just 50% for the foul line this year. She makes them.
Just their third game. Her percentage is going to go up.
Let's hope so, for Centerville's sake.
Yeah.
Again, she's one of the poorest shooting foul shooters statistically for a 77% foul shooting team.
Yeah, Emily Grimm, 11 out of 13 from the foul line for the Elks to lead the way. Kelleher, hounded. Basket's good. Olivia Roby drives to the basket and gets fouled.
Nice shot by Roby, but to me, what was impressive about that half-court possession was the way Crockett screened out there. I just don't find a lot of players who are leading their team in scoring do those kinds of things anymore. The game is so isolated around the perimeter, and you don't see a lot of screening, but Crockett there enabled her teammate to get some open space and just was very selfish about that.
Roby banks the free throw in for a 6-point lead, and she's got 9 points to lead all scorers. 2:24 left, first half of play. I think these two have learned from the previous 6 teams that have played. They haven't turned the ball over as much. That ball deflected out of bounds for off Centerville, back to Westfield.
This tournament is such a good opportunity for these teams to get some on-court experience right after Thanksgiving, because sometimes there's like a week lull in the schedule. And that's difficult to do.
Yeah.
I think you'd rather, as a player, as a coach, to be able to play almost every other day. Conditioning is very important, and game conditions are a lot different than practice. But this tournament's very important for these teams. Not necessarily to win, but to compete, play hard, learn some things. It's all part of the journey.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Centerville has a big journey ahead of them later on in the season. They want to take down Mount Notre Dame, who plays later tonight against Crown Point, since they're the last team to beat Mount Notre Dame. So it's getting over that hump.
I always wondered how many Elks there are as mascots. Nice shot on the wing there by the Centerville Ball Club. But how many Elks are there as mascots across the country? Could this be the only one? I don't know.
This could be the only one, unless there's somewhere out west, like in Colorado or one of those states. I did hear, what was it, Bulldogs. My parents like to watch that dog show, whatever they call that, Westminster Dog Show.
Oh, yeah.
40 colleges and universities across the country, 40 have the nickname of Bulldog. So
I know there's only one Boilermaker, only one Hoosier. So that's a good thing for the state of Indiana.
yeah, one Irish, one Sycamore.
Yeah. Very original in this state. Centerville keeping the game close.
Yeah, 31-29. So we got off track talking about mascots. 10 seconds, and Crockett, actually, Loveless will drive, now back out. Crockett's got it, looking for three. She drives and couldn't get it to fall. Tebby, no. Crockett, no. And we head to halftime. Tight ball game here in the fourth game of the All-State Sneakers for Santa Shootout. Westfield 31, Centerville 29. We'll take a break and see you for third quarter action right here on ISC Sports Network.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirit, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Of the literally thousands, check that, hundreds, check that. Okay, some sports card shows that are out there in the world. The Andy and Bruno show is the one you should watch, because we have Andy, who's been there and done that, everything in the hobby, and is now a mogul.
Mogul.
Yes.
And we have a guy, Bruno, he talks too much. I can't help it.
Watch the Andy and Bruno show and hear me talk too much.
Yes, and hear me smile.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Yeah, I think what keeps me going is just we're doing good work, right? Like part of it is my own experience, right?
Right.
Like I grew up in a trailer park in western Pennsylvania. I was the first person in my family to go to college. My kids live vastly different lives than I did when I was growing up. And so, that's what I want for my students is for them to have that opportunity, right? For them to move up, and for their kids, right? We were talking about the transgenerational impacts it's crazy.
It feels like we're making a difference.
Yeah, really. One person at a time. It sounds cliche, but it truly is.
Yeah.
So.
I was sitting here wondering, over the course of time working at WGU, do you have any concept of how many students is there any way to quantitate that?
How many students?
That you've actually worked with in your caseload? Because you're turning, right?
Right? Yeah. You could count graduates, but there's still so many students that, we kind of touch and then something happens. It's a little over 200, I think, at this point.
Pretty amazing.
So,
That's a lot of lives, right?
Yeah.
You think about the impact of that.
Mm-hmm. And then, their families. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris, for coming in today. Actually, not too long ago, we had a student of ours, Anitra Cooley, come in for a special visit, and she was surprised by her program mentor, Karen Hollenbeck. So take a look, check out this footage.
Okay, now you can turn around. Oh, listen. I love surprises. Good to see you.
I prayed for somebody that could, because I knew it was going to be online and I was going to have to be motivated, and I'm a bit of a procrastinator. So I said, please give me somebody that'll be stern and give me what I need, and be careful what you ask for. I got the most wonderful mentor, and I had no idea at the time how much she was going to impact my life, and that she would end up being my colleague and later on my friend. And I want to mention her name, Karen Hollenbeck. She got me. She said, "You get up." I was like, I cry and I don't want to do it. And she said, "You get up and you get it done and you figure it out. And I'll call you back later and see if you got it." And you know, she just was a motivator, and she told me I could do it, and she believed in me. And that was at a time when I didn't really all the way believe in myself as I was starting out. And I was thinking I was going to fail at this too. May 16th was the day I passed my NCLEX, and the day I found out, I believe, was like the 19th. And I'll never forget that day. I get a little teary-eyed about it because my journey from an abused child trying to navigate herself through the world, who was so sad on herself before that I had tried to harm myself in my teenage years several times because I didn't know where to go, and I was lost. And then I left home at 19, and it was up and down, up and down. And I didn't think I could be here today. I didn't think I was smart enough. I didn't think I was good enough. And they gave me an opportunity, and I was able to do that. And I'm never going to forget WGU. I always tell people I'm a night owl for life, and plus I like to stay up late. So I'm grateful. If you know anybody, and I tell people all the time, and I know people, go to WGU. They will be there for you. You will never be alone. It's just a process. And if you need somebody, there was not one time when I called and I was met with rudeness or disregard. It was always important to them. And I never experienced that. And it just gave me the energy and helped catapult me forward. And look at me now. I have more than doubled my income. I'm able to take care of things, you know, the way I feel secure. I can get something to eat. My car tire is low. I can do that. If I want to just help something out or even give to somebody for something, I can do that without worrying about starving myself. I can get my prescriptions. I had insurance, but I couldn't afford my prescriptions sometimes. It just was little things like that. And I know people are really working hard now and they want to do better. But WGU, I always say, has turned me into a new me. And if you want to be the best you, I say go to WGU.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Halftime here in the All-State Sneakers for Santa Shootout from Brownsburg. Seeing some highlights from the first half. Westfield leading Centerville from Ohio. From the Dayton area, the Elks leading them 31-29. Greg Atkins, Mike Walensky, and we've had quite a first half, 60 points. I mean, this has been a more consistent first half than the first three games. A lot more turnovers in the first three games. These two teams, it's like they've played like 10, 12 games solid each.
Yeah, it's like punch, counter punch.
Yeah.
Every time Westfield comes down and scores, Centerville comes down again. And you just saw a nice move there by Olivia Roby. And really, I think what's been critical for Westfield is that Alyssa Crockett, number 20, has played an outstanding game. She's a phenomenal performer, averaging nearly 17 points a game. She's got size. There she tries to get out and defend this three-point shot, but couldn't do so, as Centerville's Anna Grimm was able to pull her out and make the shot. But that doesn't happen too often. She's too good. Take a look at her engage on the inside here, use the glass in her body and score, and she's a very difficult out. But at the same time, she's really good in the open court. As you see the pass here, and a nice job of scoring the layup by Ellie Kelleher. And Ginny Smith does such a great job with with her Shamrocks. I noted in an article that her son, as you mentioned, is on his way next year to Purdue, that she has a relationship with the Parkinsons. Austin Parkinson played at Purdue, Northwestern high school graduate, played in Kokomo. He's now the head coach at IUPUI for women's basketball. And his father, Bruce, of course, played at Purdue. And I kind of find it funny, I didn't tell Ginny this, but when I was a kid, I thought I was Bruce Parkinson. I walked around, hi there, I walked around, I thought I was number 20, and I had a little armband and everything like that. And I thought I was Bruce Parkinson. I do a lot of no-look passes. Bruce did a lot of no-look passes to Big John Garrett for the Purdue Boilermakers. But nevertheless, Ginny's done a really good job at Westfield. And one of the things I like about her team as I see them in this game is their ability to play defense and be under control. As long as they can do that in this game, they got a chance to win it.
Yeah, and especially a team that is as good and as sound as Centerville is. And, one thing that in, an email back from their coach that they bring back is they were the last team to beat Notre Dame a couple years ago. So they're looking to build on that, and they're playing a great game here today against Westfield.
What's interesting about Centerville offensively in the first half, nice back door by the big kid, Crockett with the layup, is Center Grove a lot of times had the ball on the left side of the court. And now, again, they start off on the left side. A lot of their scoring came from the left side. And then as the quarter progressed, they'd move the ball to the other side. But it was predominantly left side. And, again, they start off the ball game that way as well here in the second half.
George again for the three. Seems like she loves to shoot the threes so far. She's made a couple in this game. She's 5 out of 20. She's 7 out of probably 27 now. She's took about 7 threes this game. Made 2.
Good job defensively by Chesney Tebby to be on the floor for Westfield, put the hand on the ball, and create the jump ball. The thing about both these ball clubs is they don't often put the ball on the floor, and that's a good thing because they're moving the ball right there. Pass. Not very many dribbles. And away from the basketball, they're moving well.
Exactly, and Tebby with the rebound. She'll slow it up. Oh, yep. Took an extra step to Chesney Tebby and travels with the basketball.
If you go into the suburbs of Indianapolis, places like Zionsville and Westfield and Noblesville and Hamilton Southeastern, there is just so much explosive growth that years ago, and we're talking 20, 25 years ago, a lot of these schools were small schools in the middle of the country, in farm fields, and now they're in the midst of cities and growth, and it's just absolutely remarkable. And Westfield is one of them.
Yeah, I remember, I want to say it was... Then there was no room in the press box. As Haley Remax finds herself down low. A little backdoor action for the layup. I want to say it was 2006 or 7. I was covering a football regional, Westfield playing Cathedral.
I remember that.
And that old 2A sized football stadium, which is now where that Riverview Health Hospital is in Westfield. And now you see the football stadium at Westfield, how things have grown.
Big time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's as nice a stadium as you'll find
Yeah.
At an NCAA Division II or NCAA Division III program anywhere in the country. Very nice.
2 minutes into the third quarter.
I was going to say Jake Gilbert's done a great job as a football coach at Westfield in a growing school that now has to compete at the 6A level. And that's not easy to do.
Now, this might be, before we get too off topic with football, this might be their best chance to beat Center Grove tonight. It's being one heck of a matchup. Kendall George converts the bucket. Chesney Tebby gets the foul.
And for Centerville in this basketball game, early on, they get the ball inside. They're getting good, efficient shots, which is an important way to win a basketball game. They're not relying on three-point shooting. They're relying on cutting and moving away from the basketball and creating opportunities.
Right there, Kendall George has 11 points. cuts the lead to 3, and now cross court, Crockett with a 3. Good.
Well, she is fantastic. You got to get in her body all the time. Otherwise, she'll make you pay. She can do it outside, inside.
And hits the floor, and Kelleher retrieves that ball, and back comes Westfield the other way. Cross court, Crockett goes. It's Roby. Now she dips it to Remax. Deflected out of bounds. Good block shot there by Molly Scott, 14.
Yeah, they've got two big Centerville. The Elks have Molly Scott and Emily Grimm. When they're both in the lineup at the same time, they've got some size.
It's kind of like having Hull and Hurt for Zionsville, like they showed earlier in their win over Bolingbrook. Remax, a 3 from the right. Sinks it. Remax has 5 this quarter.
Jump ball. Westfield possession.
Westfield now with that 9-point lead, 4.5 minutes in the third period. Again, this early in the season, they're still going through the offense. I think strategy really starts coming into play when you get in the tournament. I would suppose with a 9-point lead in the tournament at this stage of the game, you might want to slow it down.
You would think that would slow it down, but I think they're playing to the speed of Centerville.
Yep.
And it looks like they're going to call a timeout here. And Quack Daddy Donuts, we talked about them earlier. They have locations in both Pendleton and Westfield. Quack Daddy specializes in fresh, made-to-order cake donuts with 6 icings and 17 toppings to choose from. You can open your own Quack Daddy location. For franchise inquiries, contact Andy at qddwestfield@gmail.com. That's qddwestfield@gmail.com. Yeah, we were talking about Quack Daddy Donuts. You said if you love donuts, this is the place.
I will vouch for Quack Daddy Donuts. I mean, truly, they're just unbelievable. They're unbelievable. I don't know of too many places that make the kind of donuts that they do.
17 toppings.
I mean, it's remarkable.
What all do you put on donuts?
I don't know.
The Crockett misses the layup. Pass deflected. Kendall George. That ball. Now it's Izzy Laidley.
And Izzy's played really well, number one. She's been a good floor leader, and she's very strong defensively. She doesn't give up an inch at all. She's always battling for Coach Prefer's Elks.
And good drive to the bucket by Megan Taylor with those 3 fouls in that second quarter. Almost consecutively, really. Crockett dips it. Remax. Now Remax 7 in the quarter. She's been huge for Westfield.
And it's a great assist by Crockett, who you normally don't think of a 6'2 player with that kind of scoring potential. It's giving up the basketball. She does it all. We saw her in the open court. We saw her rebound, take a shot from the perimeter, go inside. She's everywhere.
Yeah, Crockett can do a lot of things for Westfield. And like a lot of teams, she just looks for kind of like that Robin to her Batman. And they're different players like Remax and Roby and Tebby who contribute like that. Good drive by George, but a good rebound there by Tebby also. Yep. Took a step.
There's a travel. There's no question. It's a good call. And frankly, when I look at Centerville, a lot of their offense, to me, revolves around Kendall George. Wherever she is on the court, and for the most part, she's on the left side. I'm just trying to finally figure out why a lot of their offense is focused on the left side. It's because that's where Kendall George is. Where Kendall George is, mostly that's where things are. Now she's on the right side. The ball's on the right side.
Yep, now she's on the right side. Right around Loveless goes Emily Grimm.
Very nice job by Grimm.
Keeping it somewhat close. Westfield up 43-36. Passes down low, and Michaela Rudolph almost didn't handle it.
Kiki Lovelace, 30, just screening once in a while, really not looking to get her the basketball at all.
And they're trying to make something happen. Crockett actually getting a break. Alyssa Crockett, that is. Aubrey in the ballgame, 5. Collinsworth, top of the key, shoots a 3. No. It's good that with a 7-point lead, they can give Alyssa Crockett a little bit of a breather so she's not playing all 32 minutes. Kendall George is trying to find room to loft up a 3.
Grimm a little bit out of control. She backed right into Aubrey Crockett, and I think she kind of lost focus about where she was on the basketball court.
Three-pointer from the corner. Good by Anna Grimm.
Great job by Grimm setting her feet.
That's her 3rd. We've got a stop in the action. Slick floor, I think.
You know, that was a big 3-point shot because now, as you see, it's a 2-possession game. At one point, Westfield had a 9-point lead. Now it's back down to 4. A lot more confidence for Centerville. And because of stoppage in play, they can make a substitution without calling a timeout as Centerville brings in number 0.
Alexia Peterson.
Because of the pace of the game, both coaches have gone to their bench.
Tebby, ball gets kicked by Grimm.
And the way Westfield's approaching things, I don't think they're going to look for the last shot. They're going to attack. They're going to go after the best shot they can.
Brought Alyssa Crockett back in there. As she's in there with Roby and 3 youngsters. They get it to Crockett. Up off the glass, no. Big rebound. Aubrey Crockett has it. Jump ball gives it back to Centerville with 38 seconds left in the quarter.
Centerville did a great job of converging down low there. They just didn't give up any space at all. They doubled up on the post, and they created turnover.
Down to 20 seconds, third quarter. Three-pointer by Peterson from the corner. Alexia Peterson has seen minimal time. Cans a 3 from the left corner. Roby back out. Crockett. Now it's Collinsworth. Left wing 3, no. And we've got quite a ball game through 3 quarters. It's Westfield 43, Centerville 42. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in just a minute here. The All-State Sneakers for Santa Shootout on ISC Sports Network.
It's here. The moment that will define you. So think of this moment as your moment. The one you've been waiting for. You were built for it. And so were we. WGU, the online university where ambition never rests.
Centerville's made 3, 5, 7.
Hi, I'm Query.
And I'm Schultz.
And of course, we do the incredibly creatively and appropriately named Query and Schultz program every Monday on ISC Sports Network. Derek, it airs at what time?
7:30.
Okay, every Monday at 7:30. We're now on season number 2, and if history tells us anything, catch us now because you never know when they pull the plug on it.
Why would you say that?
Because it's happened
That's not going to happen here. Comcast, Xfinity 81, ISCSportsNetwork.com, ISC Sports Network, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, so many places to watch. Query and Schultz, 7:30 on Monday.
Back here for the fourth quarter of the Sneakers for Santa Shootout at Brownsburg. Inadvertent horn to start the fourth quarter.
And some mentioning off air to you, Craig. I'm in amazement that Westfield is just up by one. It just appears in my mind that Westfield should be up by double figures, but that's the reason why Centerville's such a good ball club. They're making them pay. Yep. They're being a little bit more deliberate and getting better shots, not turning the ball over as much, and they're scoring when it counts. Just like that, Kendall George.
Yep, Kendall George, and Centerville is up 45-43. Kendall George was their third three. And just like that, Centerville could take advantage to start this fourth quarter.
10, Ellie Kelleher back for the Shamrocks, replacing Emery Collingsworth.
George dishes back out. Emily Grimm for three again. No. Almost got the rebound, and they are tied up. Are we going to have a jump ball or?
Jump ball. Possession
Stays with Centerville on the jump ball.
Alyssa Crockett overplayed that one defensively, and then she started heading down the court and allowed Centerville to come in and wrap up the basketball for the tie-up. Those are, the little things that they'll probably address.
Drive to the bucket. Oh, and reach in. She thought she deflected it on that drive by Megan Taylor. Crockett will be charged with a reach-in foul.
Fouls on 20, Alyssa Crockett. Her first personal, team second. Megan Taylor, shoot 2.
Right now, number 21 for Centerville. That's Anna Grimm. She's having a pretty good start of the fourth quarter, both on the offensive end here. She's causing a lot of problems. She's not scoring any points, but she's doing an effective job for her ball club.
Crockett looking to make a move and gets it back out to Tebby. Remax tries to dip it, and Crockett has to pass back behind her back as she's going out of bounds. Centerville up 46-43, and good hands by Roby.
Roby did a great job defensively coming back, getting the ball, bouncing it right off the Centerville player's foot, and now Westfield has a chance to maybe tie the game.
6:10 left, fourth quarter, 46-43, Centerville up on Westfield. And, wow, Olivia Roby lofts that ball over the Westfield bench and out of bounds. Peterson picks up her dribble. Now to George. Grimm drives up off the glass, no, and Crockett with the rebound. She'll get it to Kelleher. Tebby drives up high off the glass and over George and in.
Tebby uses that right hand. Good bucket for Westfield. They're back in the ball game, just down by one.
Yep, 46-45, Centerville up. Get a quote, and it might get you a ticket. Get a quote from the Ryan Owens Agency of Allstate Insurance on the south side of Indy, and you'll be entered into a monthly drawing for a college hoops experience with Ryan Owens and Greg Rakestraw, going to some of the top college games across the state. Search for the Owens Agency on Facebook or call 317-802-1550 to find out how you can win by getting great rates on all your insurance. Since 2010, WGU Indiana has made it possible for more than 12,000 Hoosiers to earn their bachelor's or master's degrees without putting their lives on pause. Fully accredited, fully online, WGU Indiana was designed to fit your schedule and at a fraction of the cost of traditional four-year universities. In honor of its 11th anniversary, WGU is offering $11,000 in scholarships to new students pursuing degrees in business, IT, teaching, and nursing. Visit WGU.edu and click on the Tuition and Financial Aid tab to learn more. WGU Indiana, the University of You. 5:32 left here, fourth quarter, 46-45. Centerville, the Elks leading the Westfield Shamrocks. Over the back.
Yeah, it's a tough
Crockett.
foul. Crockett used her hands. And anytime you reach over the top, the officials are going to blow the whistle. And that's just the team's third here in the half.
Centerville showing more patience, finding their shots.
The Elks are a really solid basketball team.
That's a lesson in that you should have used the backboard there. Is Megan Taylor drove and put it up and over the rim. Tabby to Crockett. She drives down and finds room, and Westfield back on top, 47-46.
Great job for Crockett. A lot of times when Westfield in this ball game has gotten the ball down inside, there's been a double, but not that time. Crockett just used her athleticism to get around for an easy bucket.
Crockett's got 15. Averages 16-6 a game. And that layup off the mark. Good recovery there by 22 Michaela Rudolph. Back comes Westfield. Roby gets that ball swatted out of bounds before she could even get it up by Peterson. Crockett will inbound. She's clearing out. And deflection out of bounds will stay with Westfield.
Rudolph had a nice thought, and that was to get the ball inside to Crockett, and that's what Westfield has to do. If they want to walk away with this win, get the ball in the hands of Crockett. There she is.
Fakes the pass, and now she drives herself.
She's virtually unstoppable unless you double her up. She's phenomenal.
Yeah, with that frame and the way she can square herself up to get a basket or make a jump shot, she is unstoppable when she gets going. But like you said, if she's doubled, it makes it just that much harder, and now she turns the ball over. Does Centerville. Back to Westfield, 3:41 left here. Fourth quarter of play, 3-point ball game. As Tebby's got it to Crockett. You see where Westfield going to be patient on offense. As they look to find Crockett, she's going to find herself, and she knows she's got court awareness, but that ball off the back of the iron and no good. And there they are again, finding Crockett down low.
Look for Crockett and get her down on the post and get her some easy looks. And if you're Centerville, you have to figure out a way to get in front of her and not let that entry pass happen, because she is just absolutely eating you alive right now.
It's her 18th point of the game.
14, Molly Scott enters for Centerville.
5 points here in the fourth quarter, and that's obviously the difference as Westfield's up 4 before this free throw.
Now Molly Scott comes to the game, number 14 for Emily Grimm, so it'll be typically Molly Scott playing defense on number 22. Or number 20, sorry, Alyssa Crockett.
Yeah, it looks like they got Molly Scott 14. You are right. They're guarding each other.
What I really like about Centerville, they move away from the basketball. Everybody's moving.
Yeah.
It really puts pressure on the defense. You got to work out there.
And also it drives the coach nuts when you're not moving. Yeah. Crockett, a big rebound there. Rudolph now to Tebby. Tebby loses the control and
Boy, Centerville's Amy Velasco in the ball game there, I believe.
believe that's Velasco, yeah.
She had a chance and couldn't maintain control of it, lost it out of bounds, and Westfield's got it back. And now with Westfield up 5 points, if they want to, they can take time off the clock. They don't have to shoot the ball quickly.
Yeah, just find the alleys in the defense, and, yeah, take your time. There's 2:25 left. Not like there's a shot clock and you have to get it up in a certain amount of time. Maybe make Centerville come to you.
And they're doing a really nice job passing the ball and taking time off the clock. Excellent job by the Rocks.
Tebby thought about driving. And Coach Smith has told her otherwise. Crockett. There's Molly Scott on her. Down to 145. Yeah, they're just going to make Centerville start fouling like Molly Scott just did.
I think that's the wise choice for the Shamrocks is to move time off the clock and put them in position for victory.
They started this possession with 2:35. So they've taken almost a minute off the clock. Timeout call by Westfield. And Quack Daddy Donuts. I think I've got to check this place out. They have locations both in Westfield and Pendleton.
You should.
Specializing in fresh, made-to-order cake donuts with 6 icings and 17 toppings to choose from. You can open your own Quack Daddy location. For franchise inquiries, contact Andy at qddwestfield@gmail.com. Yeah, we don't get donuts that often, but you have to find the right donuts, and I think we need to go to Westfield.
This is the right donut.
To Quack Daddy.
Anytime. It's Quack Daddy's. They're amazing. It's hard to explain. It's just phenomenal.
Something you got to experience. That's Quack Daddy Donuts. Pendleton or Westfield. 1:38 left on the clock. Westfield 51, Centerville 46. Here in Game 4 of the All-State Sneakers for Santa Shootout at Brownsburg. Don't forget, fans, coming up, we've got 3 more games coming. Fremd, Illinois, taking on Bedford North Lawrence next. After that, it's South Bend, Washington versus North Central of Indianapolis. And the nightcap is Mount Notre Dame out of Ohio playing Crown Point. The competition just keeps getting better throughout the night. Kelleher inbounds to Crockett, and Molly Scott fouls her again.
Crown Point has such a great history in girls basketball, certainly winning the championship last year. But I remember years ago, Tom May being the head basketball coach at Crown Point, having such a great program. Nancy Cowan played at Indiana, and Kovachkov played at Purdue. He was developing a lot of Division I people, but at the same time, their entire community came out and supported their program. And I'm familiar with the fact that at one point, I really don't know within the last couple of years, but at one point, the girls at Crown Point were outdrawing the boys. And they had a really nice facility. I think at Crown Point, their facility seats about 4,000 or 5,000, somewhere around there. And they were really packing them in for girls basketball. And that's a real tribute to their program.
Yeah, it's outstanding that girls, and there's another foul there by Emily Grimm. So that'll be the 7th team foul. Crockett will be at the line. Westfield shooting from here out. You know, first season of girls basketball was 75-76. And I think it was the home opener this year. Noblesville hosted Hamilton Heights for the 1,000th game in Noblesville girls basketball history. And it's just, it's crazy to think that, they've played that many less games than the boys, but everything is been taken on by a whirlwind, and it's going down to the small kids now.
Mm-hmm.
You just see all the little kids looking up to these players.
And I think girls basketball in Indiana is really healthy. I think this is a great, rich recruiting area where a lot of these kids can play at a very high level Division I basketball. And there's so many high schools now throughout the state that are very good and very competitive, and it's great for the communities and for the schools.
Three-pointer way off the mark by Kendall George, and a couple Elks go out of bounds to try and save it, and neither can. 53-46 Westfield. Yeah, and there's so many players, like you say, that are getting either not just recruited nationally, but they're playing nationally, and it makes Indiana girls basketball look so good, and it's only getting better as the years go on.
It's phenomenal, and hats off to Katie Geralds, because she coached at Marion for many years, and the ISC Sports Network picked up a lot of Marion women's basketball games, and now she moves back to Purdue.
Her dream job,
and now she's running the Purdue program, and that's just an awesome thing to recognize. But now we've got a kid like Crockett at the line. I think her future potential is way ahead of her. She is fantastic.
Yeah, she's trying to lengthen, and misses her first free throw of the game. Grimm going to drive. And like you talked about, with the first matchup, Grimm with another three there. That's her fourth.
And frankly, for Centerville, they needed to knock down the three. Westfield didn't defend it.
Right.
And now they're back in the ball game. Now they've got an outside chance to get back in the ball game and either send this one in overtime or come away with a victory. Where before that possession, I'm not quite sure. It looked like Westfield was about ready to gift wrap this one.
Yeah, with 58.6, I mean, what we've seen the first three games so far, this thing's far from over. 53-49, Westfield leading Centerville. Just under a minute left to play. And like I said, coming up, Fremd, Illinois plays Bedford North Lawrence, followed by 3A number 1 South Bend, Washington, and number 8 and 4A North Central. And then the nightcap is Mount Notre Dame out of Ohio, number 1 in Ohio, versus 4A number 1 Crown Point, to end things on this Saturday for the All-State Sneakers for Santa Shootout at Brownsburg High School. Glad you've joined us all day so far, and stay here with us. Still more great girls basketball to come from Brownsburg. And they tried to hook a foul back here beyond half court, but they didn't call. Now they'll call it, as that'll be on Izzy Laidley.
I'm really happy to see Bedford North Lawrence back and being really good at girls basketball. It kind of is like in football. If Notre Dame isn't good in football, something's wrong about college football. Same thing with Bedford North Lawrence. I think Bedford North Lawrence and their program down there is just absolutely phenomenal. And at my age, I'm beginning to think of people that others think kids are older. The Carrie Mounts, the Marla Inmans that played at Bedford North Lawrence years ago. Those were, in my mind, because I knew those two kids, were phenomenal. They were great people and certainly great basketball players. And for Bedford North Lawrence to get back in the mix in the top 10, top 20 in girls basketball, to me, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, and then another player from that same era, the early 90s, I remembered watching. I think she had to play. I think she played all 4 years down at Brownstown Central, Abby Conklin. That girl is one of the more dominant in that early 90s era. And, I think it's great seeing girls basketball take the state by a whirlwind. Since boys basketball has been king for so long, and now football is rising like it is, girls basketball has taken a lot of people by storm.
And it's interesting that coaches have had influence, because to me, we got Ginny Smith coaching Westfield, and her son's going to Purdue. Neil Ivey, the head basketball coach at Notre Dame for women's basketball. Her son, as you talked about, Jaden Ivey, now having a successful run at Purdue. That's kind of a cool thing.
Very cool. It's got to have her quite busy during the winter, too. When the Irish women aren't playing, she's probably on the road to West Lafayette and wherever he's playing.
And I didn't ask Ginny how busy she is.
Yeah.
You mentioned she's not only the head basketball coach at Westfield, but also the assistant athletic director.
For a 6A school.
For a 6A school, and her son's playing basketball. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Good job, Ginny. Well, she's done a great job putting this team together right now because, frankly, she competed against a Centerville ball club, and Adam Prefer's ball club is really well prepared in tonight's action here at Sneakers for Santa Shootout.
And coming up the final 3 games, Thad Van Devender will be on the call for those with West Lafayette head coach and Jane Schott, whom you know.
And I'm excited about that because Jane was an outstanding basketball player at Purdue. She's a native of Tipton. She had excellent success at Tipton, and she's a chemistry teacher, and my late father was an organic chemist and was her advisor, and I think that's kind of a cool thing. And we were always so proud for many years of her success as a coach, whether it was at Harrison or at West Lafayette, and listening to her do color work for the Indiana Fever. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. It's about people, and to see people have success, it's just a great feeling.
Foul on 23, Olivia Roby. Her first personal, team's 5th.
And she and Thad will be in studio here as Taylor shoots up what might be her 20th 3 of the night or the afternoon. I mean, through 2 games, she's shot 23. So, I mean, you think Kendall George.
Here's the nice thing about Westfield that Ginny Smith has to reflect on for this game is the fact that, in my mind, Alyssa Crockett, no doubt, is the best player for Westfield, was phenomenal. Her supporting cast was even better, and it all came about because of their defensive effort. Look at the scoreboard. They've only allowed Centerville 49 points this game. They are they're a really good basketball team, and these kids need to be recognized for that.
Yep, 15-7 so far this quarter for Westfield. After it was a 1-point game. As Kendall George will foul Ellie Kelleher with 5.4 left. This one not as close of a possibility for like Bolingbrook almost tied that in the 3rd game, but Kelleher will shoot at least 2 free throws and possibly make this a 9-point win for Westfield. And she does. She's got 9 points. And this will be the final seconds of this ball game. Grimm misses the layup as time expires. And that's our 4th game of the All-State Sneakers for Santa Shootout. Westfield 60, Centerville 51, and we've seen 4 great ball games today so far. And Thad and Jane will see 3 more amazing games coming up in this slate of games. And we're glad you've joined us, and we'll see you back here in a little bit here on ISC Sports Network for 3 more games of the Sneakers for Santa Shootout here on ISC Sports Network.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows. Wherever you find your favorite app, And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.